From Ticker News with Aaron Young, this is Ticker Today.
Hello, thanks for joining me. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is back on the job following a decisive election win over the weekend. He's expected to now summon Labor MPs to Canberra today as he begins shaping his cabinet for a second term in office. Labor's win was emphatic. The party has secured 86 seats, well above the 76 needed for a clear majority. Warren Buffett has made an historic move, announcing he will retire as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway by year's end. And Singapore's ruling People's Action Party has clinched a dominant result, winning 65% of the vote and 87 of 97 seats. The markets are rallying despite economic warnings. The S&P 500 off just 3.3% year to date. That's buoyed by optimism over possible tariff cuts. You are watching Ticker Today, the latest news and business moving the world. Let's get started. And first today, it's back to work for the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese after a major election victory over the weekend. The Prime Minister will call Labor MPs back to the nation's capital as he considers what his second-term cabinet will now look like. It was a stunning Labor victory over the weekend. The seats at the moment, 86 for the government, giving them a sweeping majority and surpassing the target of 76 seats to form a majority government. 39 seats for the coalition at this stage, a crossbench of 11, and the Greens take one spot so far secured in Parliament. Counting resumes today with still many seats undecided. But for the Liberal Party, the finger-pointing has already begun after that landslide defeat. The Liberal leader Peter Dutton, who lost his seat on Saturday, took responsibility and paid tribute to the Prime Minister.
Earlier on, I called the Prime Minister to congratulate him on his success tonight. It's an historic occasion for the Labor Party, and we recognise that. I congratulated the Prime Minister and wished he and Jody and Nathan all the very best. And I said to the Prime Minister that his mum would be incredibly proud of his achievement tonight, and he should be very proud of what he's achieved. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Australia's newly re-elected Labor government aims to tackle the challenges posed by the US-China trade war. According to the Treasurer Jim Chalmers, the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese celebrated his historic second consecutive term, explained the need for a unified and orderly administration. Early projections suggest Labor may increase its parliamentary majority. Now, voters' concerns about US trade policies significantly influenced the election outcome, particularly as a Conservative opposition struggled to resonate with the public. Leaders from both the US and China have expressed their willingness to work with the Albanese government, marking a hopeful start to international relations. The Treasurer Jim Chalmers says working out a solution is now the government's priority.
Look, obviously the immediate focus is on this global economic uncertainty, particularly the US and China part of that and what it means for us. And so I was able to be briefed on that, what's happening in markets and what it means for the Australian economy. So clearly that's the immediate focus. And again, I think one of the reasons why we got this big majority last night is because people recognised that if you wanted stability while the global economy was going crazy, then a majority Labor government was the best way to deliver that.
World leaders have celebrated the re-election of the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese in Australia, hailing his landslide victory. The White House acknowledging Australia as a cherished ally despite the silence of the US President amid notable anti-Trump sentiments influencing the election campaign. Albanese is now set to negotiate a trade agreement with the United States as the Secretary of State Marco Rubio reaffirmed strong Australia-US partnership. Leaders like the British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky also extending their congratulations to Anthony Albanese. Meanwhile, the Greens leader Adam Bandt finds himself fighting to retain his seat in Melbourne as early election results indicate a potential loss. The party, which enjoyed historic success in 2022, now grappling with significant setbacks, including the ousting of rising star Max Chandler Mather in Griffith and Stephen Bates in Brisbane. Despite the challenges, Bandt expressing optimism on social media, taking to X, asserting that Chandler Mather had made a remarkable impact during his brief tenure. To other news, and Warren Buffett has made a groundbreaking announcement revealing his plans to step down as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway at the end of the year. During the company's annual meeting, he expressed his support for Greg Abel to take over the role, marking a monumental shift after Buffett's influential tenure. At 94 years old, Buffett highlighted the influence and importance that the transition, while describing it as the right time for Abel, who has been groomed for the position since 2021. As fans and shareholders reflected on the pivotal moment for the company, Buffett reassured that he will still be involved but will leave the final decisions to Abel. He also paid tribute to Apple CEO Tim Cook and what that company has done for Berkshire Hathaway.
I'm somewhat embarrassed to say that Tim Cook has made the Berkshire a lot more money than I've ever made Berkshire Hathaway. So credit should be given to him for. I knew Steve Jobs briefly, and Steve, of course, did things that nobody else could have done in developing Apple, but Steve picked out Tim to succeed him, and he really made the right decision. Steve died young, as you know, and nobody but Steve could have created Apple, but nobody could. But Tim could have developed it like it has. So on behalf of all of Berkshire, thank you.
Voters in Singapore have given the ruling People's Action Party a resounding victory, securing 65.6% of the votes and 87 out of 97 parliamentary seats. The Prime Minister, Lawrence Wong, explained the need for stability in the turbulent times, citing concerns over the US-China trade war and its potential impact on Singapore's economic progress. The opposition Workers' Party retained its position with 10 seats, but the PAP's victory marks another chapter in its long-standing dominance since 1959. Wong, a year into his premiership, highlighted the changes in the global order that could challenge Singapore's achievements. Stocks are soaring, defying recession warnings from top forecasters, with the S&P 500 down just 3.3% for the year amidst hopes for tariff rollbacks. The market recently enjoyed its longest winning streak since 2004, buoyed by positive economic data and optimism about easing trade tensions. While concerns about inflation and slower growth remain, investors are still spending, with consumer confidence showing signs of resilience. And the Fed Reserve's upcoming comments on the economy will further illuminate the path ahead. Yet predictions suggest tariffs could soon impact inflation and consumer behaviour. Despite the stock rally, cautious sentiment simmers above the surface as traders now potentially anticipate potential rate cuts from the Fed.